is Nikolaus Correll, an assistant professor from Frankfurt, Germany, by the way of the University of Colorado at Boulder. He teaches the robotics of swarming systems and has a passion to apply robotic swarms to agriculture. Straight out of Star Wars, Nikolaus offers a solution to make local agriculture more sustainable. Get out your lightsabers. Please welcome Nikolaus Correll.
I would like to build robots that can grow our food. This is our first attempt. We built that system in 2008 just to show what we want to do. And what you're going to see are little robots that tend to tomato plants here. And they do the most basic functions. They go and water the plants. They go... So they do very basic needs, but then they also go around and check on what the plants need. So the robot just said, I'm going to do an inventory, and what it does, it goes there with the sensors, goes in front of the tomato plant and starts counting where the tomatoes are and how many there are. So if you had such a system, you could have your plants anywhere in your office space. The plants ask the robots to have them out, and when you say, I want to have a tomato, the robots do know where the tomatoes are and go harvest them.
I have selected a tomato to harvest.
So there you go. That's what we did in 2008. And I want to explain today why I think this is actually important and why we really need this. So when you think about agriculture, agriculture was invented 1,200 before Christ, so that's more than 3,000 years. And it ended 2.5 million years of hunting and gathering. So civilization made really little progress for millions of years, keeping people busy hunting and gathering. So then somebody, or people all over the world, invented cultivating plants, and that has led to an explosion of productivity in our civilization. And it went on for the last 2,000 or 3,000 years until we had the industrial age. And so what you see here, the little yellow heads are consumers, and the little red person is a farmer. And so you see that there are more and more consumers that get taken care of by a single farmer. And so when in 1930 we had power machinery, it really picked off, and now we have, this is the 1997 figures, we have 140 people in this country being fed by a single farmer in a very, very efficient agricultural system. And it's actually a brilliant system if you think about it that way, because we have 140 people that can be creative, that can educate themselves, and that can do interesting things instead of going and hunting and gathering food. So this is a complicated slide because it's a complicated system, and what I want to show you are what the problems are with the current system. And first, we have 4 resources. We have oil, we have water, we have fertilizers, and we have pesticides that we have to bring out to get food. So problem number 1, oil is not renewable, water is already a problem, and even phosphorus, which we need in fertilizer, is a limited resource. So now the population is growing, it's doubling probably in the next 20 years. So what are we going to do about that? What happens with this stuff in this country is we actually produce only a very small variety of food. So 70% of the food that we produce is corn, wheat, soy, and alfalfa. And now you get this big diversity in the supermarket, but in fact it is processed food which relies on high fructose corn syrup and a lot of wheat, so there's actually very little in there which is useful. And the problems are now, we have obesity, we have type 2 diabetes, we have chronic heart disease, and we have lots of costs in our healthcare system because of that. There are other problems with the agricultural system. We have huge monocultures that are in the middle of the country. There's tremendous transportation costs. There are national security risk. You can just go and deploy a virus somewhere. In Iowa, and Americans have no corn for like a couple of months. And a little rain or a little storm wipes out an entire state, so you have a huge swing of food prices. Well, the solutions for that are well known, and people talk about that a lot. It's grow your food local. Grow your food in your backyard, grow it in your city, and take advantage of polycultures. And this is, I think there are tons of TED Talks just about that in the end, saying go home, grow your own food. So I'm really into this, but I've never done it because I don't have the time. But before I give you the solution, let me just explain the polycultures concept. So what you see here is plants are mixed next to each other, and there are these little marigolds, you see to the bottom right, and they're not there because the farmer or the person likes them so much, but because they repel insects. And so there are hundreds of plants like this which help each other out. And this has been well studied, it's knowledge for hundreds of years, and people could do it and could do a much more sustainable agricultural system. But the problem is I don't have time, and so what's going to happen if you look at the development, or when we want to go back and grow our own food, this is going to happen. We have again pre-1930 ratios of people that take care of very few consumers. And the people look grumpy then, and they look grumpy now. So my solution, and that's how we started the talk, is we have to have little robots that will be able to do what people do, attend to individual plants, be able to do robotic polycultures, where the robot goes, checks on individual plants, gives them exactly what they need, and takes advantage of all these well-known plant-to-plant interactions. So in order to get there, in order to get the Who, You, Dewey, and Louie that we've already seen in 1972 in the silent running movie, we have to do three things. We have to investigate how to grow plants in a very efficient way in confined environments, so when space becomes a problem. And so we're currently looking into an aeroponic system. It's been built by the Hackerspace in Boulder Solid State Depot, and has a gantry system where we can move a camera and arms in front of the plants. We have to understand perception. How can robots and how can computers understand what the plant needs, where the plant is at, and what to do with it. And we have to understand how to manipulate things that are soft. So robot arms have been around for a couple of decades now, but there's none that can actually manipulate soft matter. So let's say we have these robots finally. What we could do is we could take an environment like this. This is Denver Airport, actually. It's a piece of art, but it was inspiring to me because I see some green in there, and it's probably not the best use of that space. We could do something like that and have robots grow food in our cities where we live and where we want to eat it. Thank you very much.